Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 9 of season 1 of my fantasy fights. Today, I decided to take two underwater type characters, even though one can actually survive very well on land. Although let me rephrase this. Let me rephrase the whole thing before I confuse the shit out of everybody. Today, I decided to mix and match one of Aquaman's greatest villains up against Marvel's first ever mutant character ever created, Namor the Sub-Mariner. And that one of Aquaman's greatest villains is none other than David Hyde, aka the Black Manta. And so without further ado, let's get this shit started. Let me just clear my eyes real quick. Just a minute. Oh boy, Jay. Okay, more and more people showing up. That's great. All right, let's get this shit started. We're going to start off with the man himself, Mr. Black Manta, aka David Hyde. He was created by Bob Haney and Nick Cardy. Made his very first appearance in the 35th issue of the original Aquaman comics back in October of 1967. Hold on one second while I clear some shit out here. David Hyde is a descendant of the lost tribe of Atlanteans known as the Deserters. His mother, Ramona, walked down the family when he was a child, and he was raised by his father, Jesse, on the family fishing boat. The Black Manta. Jesse tried to raise David to be tough, and as he believed the black man would need to be in order to be successful. He taught David to be unsentimental, not to let mercy cloud his judgment, via demonstrations such as stealing coins from a fountain and admonishing his son for saying a winning football team should allow their opponents to score out of pity. His most important lesson to David was, you don't need anyone. As a young adult, David worked for his father as a diver and treasure hunter. They sought the Black Pearl, which would allow the user to possess hydrokinetic abilities. His search began in the Bermuda Triangle, where he discovered the lost Atlantean kingdom of Zebel, Xebel. There he seduced a woman named Lucia who would adopt his surname and become Lucia Hyde, wanting the map to the Pearl. However, she smelt out his evil intention on a proxy map. Because of this, David wasn't able to find the Pearl until much later. He was contracted by Dr. Stephen Shin to procure a sample of Arthur Curry's blood to prove that the young man was an Atlantean. During the encounter, Arthur's father, Thomas, came to his son's defense and suffered a fatal heart attack. Thomas died 3 days later, and Arthur swore revenge. On the day of Thomas's funeral, Arthur stormed the boat belonging to the man he deemed responsible for his father's death. In the rain and darkness, Arthur murdered Hyde's father on the assumption that he was the killer. Out of vengeance, Hyde crafted weapons and armor and went hunting. When the Atlantean became a publicly known hero known as Aquaman, David became the Black Manta. So basically, in the most recent iteration of Black Manta, they became enemies over their fathers being killed. Basically, Manta would come into conflict with Arthur and with his team at the time, the Others, many times. The Others wanted to find and safeguard the 7 relics of Atlantis, powerful artifacts forged by the first king of Atlantis, Atlan. Manta attempted to stop the team at every turn, but they were too strong as a unified force. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Eventually, others found the artifacts and split up across the globe, each member taking one artifact with the exception for the 7th relic that was never found. Aquaman would later go on to fall in love with Mera, the Princess of Zabel, and co-founded the Justice League of America. Both aspects of Arthur's life that Matt Hyde wanted to rip away from him. One of the most infamous things that Black Manta ever did, in all honesty, was kill Aquaman's infant son, Aquababy. And that was one of the darkest, one of the most messed up moments in comic book history, the point where it drove Aquaman to develop homicidal tendencies whenever he came across Black Manta. And it kind of, for a period of time, damaged Aquaman's marriage to Mera. It really, really did. It really damaged their relationship. Are you okay? Of course I'm not okay. Why would I be okay with that? Why would I be okay with Aquaman killing Black Manta's dad? He was outraged. I'm not defending him, but he was enraged, and that was obviously wrong. So yeah, here are his now. Obviously, Black Manta would go on to be a part of, the new Suicide Squad, the Injustice League, the Legion of Doom, the whole 9 yards. He is a legendary figure in DC Comics history. And here are his abilities. He's skilled in archaeology, aviation. He can pilot a helicopter. He's a master of disguise. He's a good diver. He has a genius level intellect. He's good at gadgetry. He's good at investigation due to the crazy. I'm Team Black Manta. Hold your horses, though. Issue before you call out your judgment. Manta is the greatest treasure hunter to ever live. He has investigated many ancient mints of treasure and found their source. He's very good. He has excellent leadership skills. He's good at medical science. He's also skilled in art of seduction. He's highly skilled in tactical analysis, mechanical engineering, tracking. He's highly advanced in hand-to-hand combat. He's owned his skills in fighting Aquaman. He was trained by his father to fight at an early age. He was able to easily defeat Captain Boomerang, Harley Quinn, and Deadshot in 1 and 3 combat, even though they were all accomplished fighters. Intimidation. He has ruled Nemo largely through fear. He's a master swimmer. Deathstroke has said that he's such a good swimmer, he cuts through water like a torpedo. Seamanship, he can pilot a submarine. He's very skilled in weaponry, demolitions, marksmanship, swordsmanship, throwing. In his Black Manta armor, he has artificial gills, enhanced durability, enhanced strength to the point where he can combat Aquaman, flight, grappling line, powerful optic lasers that are capable of singeing an Atlantean skin at maximum power output. He has shock gauntlets. He has hydrokinetic negation. And yeah, that's that is so yeah, that is Black Manta for you. Now on to Namor the Sub-Mariner. Now, Namor the Sub-Mariner, his real name is Namor Mackenzie, and he is the first mutant character of Marvel Comics. Namor the Sub-Mariner, his real name is, hold on, oh my god, stupid thing. His real name is Namor Mackenzie, and he was created by legendary artist Bill Everett and made his very first appearance in Motion Picture Funnies Weekly, issue 1 in April of 1939. And here's his origin. In 1915, Ernest Shackleton, sent by Winston Churchill, sought out vibranium in the Antarctic. His ship, the Endurance, was lost. Later, Leonard Mackenzie, with the telepath Paul Dusting as his passenger, attempted to recover the vibranium. Princess Fen was sent to investigate explosives near the surface by her father, Emperor Thakor, whatever the hell his name is. Mackenzie fell in love with and impregnated Princess Fen with the child who became Namor. However, Atlantean soldiers became to retrieve Fan and attacked Mackenzie's crew. But Glenn Mackenzie was believed to be dead by Fan following the attack, and she returned to Atlantis pregnant. The child was named Namor, and which means avenging son. Namor spent his boyhood taunting his cousin Dorma, as well as playing with his other cousins Namor and Bara, as well as his friend Marana. During Namor's youth, he traveled as a part of the Atlantic diplomatic mission to the Okari Reefs, which seasonal capital of the Chasm people. Here he encountered the prince of the Chasm people, Atuma, who he would go on to have a legendary rivalry with for a long time. Still, they set aside their differences, but at this point, when the two first met, even though they developed a rivalry, they put their differences aside. Izu, did you listen to me what I just said? Or are you just being an idiot? Well, let me rephrase that. No, he is not. And did you at all listen to what I had to say? If not, please go back. Let's see. Still, they set aside their differences and began developing a friendship for the sake of peace between their peoples. To encourage diplomatic relations, Atuma, Namor, and Dorma went to accompany the Swift Tide, a multinational group of underwater heroes, on a mission to recover the Unforgotten Stone, an eldritch artifact created by the Great Old Ones. The mission ended in disaster, and the Swift Tide were mutated into predatory monsters by the Unforgotten Stone's power. Taking the name Black Tide, they went on a rampage. First, they believed the Okari Reefs, killing everyone present, including Atuma's father, King Atukar. Afterwards, they set their sights on Atlantis Pacific. Ultimately, they were stopped thanks to Dorma mastering the Unforgotten Stone and sealing the members of the Black Tide. Blaming the Atlantis for the destruction, Atuma left, breaking all hopes for negotiations. Namor would have a huge role in World War II, alongside with Captain America, Steve Rogers, and the android version of Human Torch, Jim Hammond. And he joined the invaders. My apologies, my friend. I didn't mean to call you an idiot. At the end of World War II, Namor returned to Atlantis. He was stopped by Atlantean soldiers, Krang and Byra, who during Namor's act convinced Dakar to banish him. During his first year after the exile, Namor worked with reporter Betty Dean. He also spent time living with a person named Randall Peterson, an honorary invader, and helped raise his daughter Nay. During this time, he worked with All Winter's Squad, facing such enemies such as Isbissa and Card Killers. Never heard of these characters. They also stopped an attempt at the life of John F. Kennedy, a mission which costed the second Captain America his life. Let's see here. The second Captain America, I believe, was William Nasland. Ultimately, in 1947, Namor was called back to Atlantis to attend Emperor Thakur's birthday celebration. However, when Namor reached Atlantis, he found not a party, but a scene of slaughter. However, Thakur managed to escape with only a slight wound. Another survivor was Namora, which is Namor's cousin, who informed Namor about the surprise attack of a gang led by a man named Stoop, S-T-O-O-P. Together, they pursued the perpetrators to the United States, where they localized them with the help of local law enforcement. Unfortunately, they both remained in the service role, working together as convicts until 1949, where Namor decided to permanently return to Atlantis. In the 1950s, Namor began to, obviously in the 1950s, he would go on to gain recognition only for biggest to cause the death of a man named Truffot. Namor disappeared in 1950 after Destiny. Eventually, he developed amnesia. He began to meet his former Invader teammate, Bucky, who's obviously Captain America's sidekick and currently goes by the alias of the Winter Soldier. Charles Xavier, the leader and founder of the X-Men, eventually managed to arrive to see Namor and informed him of his mutant status. Namor then agreed to send Charles on his research to help Charles on his search for more of their kind. They traveled the country but failed to find any before coming across a mutant surrounded by police, and Charles mentally restrained the officers. Mm-hmm. Now here we go. Namor eventually developed amnesia again, and until the modern age, he would come across Johnny Storm, the Fantastic Four's Human Torch, and he saw him in the flop house and saw him use his super strength. Felt bad for him and offered to help him get back in the seat. He shaved his beard with his flame, and Namor's true features were revealed. Johnny then dumped Namor into the river, only for Namor's memory to be restored. Unfortunately, Namor tried to return to Atlantis, but found an outpost that has been destroyed by nuclear tests during the years he was an amnesiac. He assumed that all of his people were scattered where he could never find them. He would then he would then clash with the Fantastic Four on many occasions. He would then trying to think here. He would have both a friend and enemy relationship. He would then have both a friend, frenemy. That's what I'm saying, a frenemy status with Doctor Doom. But most importantly, though, he would go on to help find the original Defenders alongside with the Hulk, Doctor Strange, and Norrin Radd the Silver Surfer. So I'm not going to list you every single thing. He was a part of the Avengers versus X-Men event. And let's just say he got on Black Panther's shit list during that event. That's all I will say about that. But with that being said, it's time to list his powers and abilities. Let's see. Mutant Atlantean physiology. No, I said Norrin. Norrin. That's what I said. I didn't say. If I said Norman, I apologize. His real name is Norrin, Norrin. My apologies. Namor's powers came from being a unique hybrid of Atlantean, Homo mormonus, and mutant dubbed Homo superior. Because of his genetic heritage, Namor is among both ordinary humans and Atlanteans. Namor has been often referred to as Marvel's fugitive because the majority of his observed superhuman abilities come from the fact that he is a human and Atlantean DNA. I didn't mean homosexuals. Like we're called Homo sapiens. I get it, you're joking, Nate, but this is serious. He has been stated to be an alpha level mutant, amphibious physiological adaptation. Charles, I don't spit on Superman's legacy. Yeah, you do, motherfucker. Stop lying. We're talking about T'Challa. Black Panther got on T'Challa's shit list during the Avengers versus X-Men story arc. He can breathe underwater, granting a specialized blood circulation to withstand freezing temperatures. Mike Rubino, welcome to the chat. Always been a fan of Namor. Cool. I'll probably discuss my own thoughts on Namor after I discuss this. He can develop vision to clearly see in the murky depths of the ocean. Oh, the Marvel movies. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. This hybrid mythology, he can survive indefinitely on land or, well, most specifically, underwater. Though he could still need occasional contact with water to survive. For it can, as much as I would love to get into this discussion. Okay, I'm gonna put the big fella in fucking timeout for that shit. You know what, Gary? I'm gonna say this only once. Please stay on topic. And please, enough with your nonsense. Thank you. Namor possesses vast superhuman strength. Well, the exact limit of his strength is solely dependent upon his physical contact with water. But out of the water, Namor was able to defeat Luke Cage with ease. And use his body as a club to knock out She-Hulk from behind. He was able to match the Thing, Ben Grimm, in the same issue. Underwater, he battled the Red Hulk. He battered, the Red Hulk, and stopped him from getting to the surface until he threw him out. Namor has on occasion even knocked out a moderately angry Hulk, Savage Hulk, and has also had good performances against Thor and Hercules. Namor in his prime was described as being almost as strong as the Hulk and reputed as a powerhouse rivaling Thor. Could match an angry Merch Hulk and could overpower Wonder Man, a being normally regarded to be on par as strong as Thor and Ares at the same time. However, an enraged Hulk could temporarily restrain a serious and wet Namor, and it was required power of two Avengers teams, which include a dried Namor to match a weakened but totally insane bannerless Hulk. A enraged Thor was able to knock out Thor with only a wet Namor with only one blow. An enraged Storm, okay. In addition, Namor and an ensemble of heroes, in which include the Avengers, X-Men, and Fantastic Four, were powerless against Onslaught, needing an unrestrained and extremely enraged Hulk to help them. Nevertheless, Namor was able to hold his own and damage Beta Ray Bill in a fight. While underwater, Namor was also able to manage to defeat Ares in single combat on 2 different occasions. When a Juggernaut-empowered Colossus charged and collided with Namor, they were both knocked out as a result. Namor once briefly faced the Silver Surfer and withstood a point-blank blast and knocking him down by counterattacking. Besides, Namor has drew blood from the Hulk, but was also overpowered when trying to subdue him. Namor was also able to hold his own against the Sentry for a little while, but Emma Frost convinced the Sentry to stop since Namor couldn't actually defeat him. I'm so sorry. Let's see. Moreover, Namor has been seen several times lifting at least 1,000 tons without too much effort. Even though inferior to them, Namor has made Sentry and even Thanos bleed. Namor once swam against a temporal storm for a brief period, even pressing on despite getting dehydrated by that act. Furthermore, Namor's prowess is so great that he has been referred to as one of the most powerful beings on the planet. Namor's strength was even once described as supreme under the ocean. After absorbing Hydro Man's powers, Namor's strength was tepidly and far exceeded his normal levels. Superhuman speed. He can run in speeds faster than the finest human athlete. His speed is greatest, however, while swimming. While most Atlanteans can swim at speeds greater than 60 miles per hour, Namor has shown that he can reach a speed at over 300 knots or 345 miles per hour. I didn't say flee from Thanos. I said he made Thanos bleed. BLEED. Superhuman stamina. Namor's advanced muscular produces considerable less fatigue toxins. Don't worry, Rick Kent. Don't worry about your hearing, buddy. Sometimes it's the way I speak. I sometimes speak too damn fast, so I apologize. But trust me, sometimes, I sometimes don't hear things properly too sometimes. So you're good in the hood, buddy. You're good in the hood. At his peak, he can exert himself for more than 24 hours. Hey, Craig, what's up, buddy? He can build off before fatigue toxin in his blood began to impair him. Namor's stamina, much like his strength, steadily declines the longer he is out of contact with water, and will diminish to the point where he is slightly greater stamina than the finest human athlete. He has superhuman agility. He can perform acrobatic feats in the air, sufficient to enable him to easily evade, dodge most aircraft carriers. He has superhuman reflexes. He's been able to catch missiles and throw them back at the point of origin. Now, he has pretty impressive superhuman durability. I mean, he can take tremendous impact forces, high caliber bullets, falls from orbital heights, exposed to temperatures and pressure extremes, blows from superhuman opponents, energy blasts without sustaining injury. Despite getting dehydrated, Namor has once withstood direct and prolonged contact with an overheating Toro. Aquatic healing. If he does get hurt, he can heal tissue faster and more extensively than a normal human or most Atlanteans. Namor's accelerated healing is at its peak when he's immersed in water, but does diminish the longer he's out of contact with water or if he is completely dry. Now, here's something that he has that Aquaman doesn't really have, and that's radiation absorption. Namor can absorb certain levels of radiation. His potential is unknown, but the full power of the radioactive man is enough to rapidly drain him of his strength. advanced longevity. Atlanteans age much slower and live much longer than human beings, with the average Atlantean lifespan being about 120. Namor at this time is considered to be in his physical prime, underwater breathing. He can breathe underwater indefinitely. He can breathe on land without any breathing devices. Now, similar to Aquaman, he has aquatic telepathy. He is able to mentally communicate with all forms of marine life and mentally persuade them to do his bidding. Namor can also mentally communicate with other Atlanteans, giving mental telepathic orders to all of his men and possibly humans as well, should he develop his power to the fullest. Electrolocation. Like some fish, Namor has a limited ability to navigate by sensing faint electrical currents within the water. Enhanced senses, superhuman vision. He can see and penetrate. He can see the depths, and he can see the ocean's depths and through murky water. He has superhuman. He once could hear a school of fish change direction half an ocean away. Then, when the ocean currents alter by a single degree, he'd know it. Now, here comes the question a lot of people want to know: the winged flight. Namor also possesses vegetal wings on both of his ankles, by which he seems to fly at the speed of escape velocity while exerting himself fully. His flight speed at normal levels is enough to enable Namor to fly past that military aircraft. Since his wings by themselves could never carry Namor, it has been speculated that he uses his wings for steering and flies in some other manner, perhaps by telekinesis. Namor's ability to lift weights while flying is sufficient to enable him to carry a 50-ton anchor with one hand without disconcertable loss of speed or momentum. He even has... Okay. Okay, I'm only going to say this once. Enough with the spamming crap. And please stay on topic, but no one listens. 25, I'm going to delete this comment. Water manipulation. After siphoning up Hydro Man's powers, Namor gained control over water and was powerful enough to part a large section of water with ease, as well as the prison several thousand miles away from water. Rain manipulation. Namor once caused a heavy rainstorm to douse Johnny Storm's flame form in a brief fight. Now, here we go with his abilities. He is an expert combatant. He's spent numerous conflicts under the sea and in human wars. He is a master swordsman, marksman, and capable of wielding weapons such as spears, but rarely does so due to his preference in hand-to-hand combat. He is a bold diplomat. He has diplomatic immunity. He is an expert tactician. He's multilingual. He pretty much speaks every language on Earth. He's a skilled engineer. He's a talented business executive. He's been adept in the field of business since he was a teenager. And he's also a good sculptor. Now, in terms of his... Now, here is the battle breakdown. This is pretty much similar to what if Black Manta fought, Aquaman again. And yes, there was. I'm glad you brought that up. Yes, it was, but I don't think it's still canon. But I could be wrong. So Obviously, this is going to be an interesting fight. This was I think this is going to be a good fight, to be honest with you. But obviously, I'm probably going to give a slight edge to Namor, but I think this would be an interesting fight. I think this would be. If you asked Al to AI, I don't know if I could do that. But will we get to see this fight? Maybe if DC decide and Marvel decide to do one, but we shall see. Now, as for my personal fandom of Namor, I could take him or leave him. Spam. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Oh. Please make Mike Rubino, no problem. At half case. Add as moderator. Add as moderator. Which one's this? Add as moderator. Which one's this? Add as moderator. All right. Sorry. But that is it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys, or at least those that were willing to actually pay attention and understand. No, I will not be doing any call-ins today. I know you guys want to hang out with me and all this shit, but look, man, I'm sticking to my fantasy fights, bro. And honestly, thank you, Nate. I appreciate that. You can also type in the comment section. If you want to know my thoughts on who would win, I would probably give a slight edge to Namor, but then again, what the hell do I know? I think Black Manta would be a good matchup for him, but we shall see. Where the fuck? Okay, there we go. Tomorrow, though, will be the season 1 finale. Tomorrow will be the season finale, season 1 finale. So once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I'll see y'all later. Peace out.